So as far as some of these position battles, man, I definitely am anxious to see how this defensive line group breaks out, man. I know we have a Ridgeway in there, some of these young guys, a Bohanna, who's going to be starting as far as these 3 techs, 1 techs. And we've seen a few of our offensive linemen get beat up on, quite a few in practice, man. So not only that, if you want to flip it on the other side of the ball, our offensive line, I know it's kind of tough. They're going against Micah Parsons and some of these guys, D-Law and everything like that. But on the flip side, how they will look going against some of these premier pass rushers and defensive linemen as we move, deeper into this preseason. It'll be dope.
Right. Also, all these highlights we're seeing of, like, Micah torching dudes and Tristan Hill snapping at practice, you don't think that our O-line is terrible and that it's just making these guys look good? Because if that's the case, we might be in real trouble this year. We probably still win the division, but I don't think our O-line is better than it was last year. I don't think it's significantly worse. Like, we had our issues with, what's his name, Connor Williams, holding and all that. So if we can eliminate some of the penalties, we could be in a better position. But I do hope, like, because right now the way it looks is we have, like, 7 starters playing defensive tackle.
Yeah,
which would be terrific because
deep.
you just rotate those guys through, and they let them roll.
Yeah. What is interesting, I'm trying to figure out as far as this left guard spot, I've seen Connor McGovern get whooped. You know what I mean? I've seen Tristan Hill whipping up on him quite a bit there. I've seen Tyler Smith lose his handful of reps, but I've also seen him display some good things, that you would expect out of your rookie, right away. So it'll be good just to see what he looks like right away. That's one player that just stands out to me. Just what will our guy look like, our first overall pick, man? I'm anxious to see as far as seeing him as a maul out there. But when you ask about our offensive line and would they be better, I kind of sit back and I think about it. I feel like it's a lot of reasons to be disappointed about it, losing to Lyle Collins. But we did have Terrence Steele last year. He made a big leap last year. He made a big leap. So what would that look like with another offseason under his belt, and can he improve on that? So if you kind of look at it as a whole, just having a Tyron Smith even for the whole season, we probably won't get that. I think we'd be asking for a little too much. But just having him out there, putting him up beside a Tyler Smith, giving some stability there. We did have Tyler Biadasz in there last year. So pretty much across the board, everything will be kind of consistent. We just got to see how this left guard spot looks out, and all we need is Tyler Smith to be better than Connor Williams.
I agree.
We'll get to see that right away.
Tyler Smith is more of like a fringe first-round guy. Probably was looked at more of like a second-round pick. So I don't think he is like as developed as a Evan Neal or one of those guys that was taken early.
I think, right away he shows a lot of the traits of what you want to see from a day one starter, like as far as like strength and just getting his hands on guys. When you see it, guys are, they ain't going nowhere. They ain't moving. And that's something you can't teach as an offensive lineman. Like, that's what Connor Williams struggle with. Like, as far as at the point of attack, like either you have it or you don't. So I think that's good as far as being a day one starter. I think he was more of a project being on the outside as a left tackle because that's all the footage we were seeing. And he kind of had problems with some of those guys on the edge as far as, getting beat around the edge. His hand placement and his things he's been working on in the offseason. Obviously, we're going to have to see it play out. He's been over there with Duke Manyweather. Philbin has finally got his hands on him. We've seen what Philbin was able to do with Terrence Steele, So hopefully he can work a little magic, do the same thing with Tyler Smith. But I think the idea is just to move him inside, give him less space to deal with, put a Tyron Smith beside him, and hopefully, if he lives up to what he can be, as far as like just getting back physical, and which seems like what we want to do as far as getting back to this run game. We won't be asking a lot of him just to be out there, in space. All they got to do is just, snap the ball and then just hit the guy in front of you and move him down the field.
And the fact that we moved off from Lyle Collins for Terrence Steele just shows like the confidence they have in our offensive line coach. So hopefully him having his hands on a Tyler Smith and McGovern as well another year later. Maybe like, obviously you don't rotate players, but hopefully like we have 2 solid guys over there at left guard. If I can move over to the defensive line, I am very excited about. I know previously we spoke about, it was probably a month or so ago where we were talking about who's the odd man out on this defensive line, and we kept saying Tristan Hill, bro. Tristan Hill's out. But from all the reports at practice, he looked like a beast. So if that's the case, I think that Ridgeway, he should make the team. He's a, 5th, 6th round pick. So you put a little capital into him, give him time to improve. But like on the back end with like Bronson and Faoli, Faoli. I don't know how to say his name. But they'll probably end up on the practice squad. They won't be starters. But even to hit like the edge rushers, DeMarcus has the left side locked up, but over on the right side we got Armstrong, we got Fowler, we got Basham, we got Golston, we got dudes over there too. So we might be able to work like a nice little.
Yeah, all of them are looking good, man.
Absolutely.
Because we talk about who's going to be the odd man out. Like you said, we all thought it'd be Tristan, but now at this point, maybe you don't even have to cut or even obviously I don't think we're going to cut like a Bohan or anything like that or even risk moving them to the practice squad. We just have to, pretty much just take one of these guys and go pretty much short at another position. Like maybe we go a little bit short at safety, a little bit short at cornerback. But if all these guys are balling out, I'm not trying to cut anybody. Right. You know what I mean? Let's keep them all. You know what I mean? I think the deeper the better. We've seen how Dan Quinn likes to, rotate his defense ends, his pass rush. He like to keep guys fresh anyway. So I think the more bodies, the better. But definitely, man, they be beating up on his second string, and these guys on the depth chart. So let's just see. Pretty much when the preseason starts, that's the type of guys they're going to be going with. So if they're able to come out there and do the same thing, oh, man, the sky's the limit.
And I do hope, too, that Saturday we get to see Tyler Smith, McGovern. Hopefully they get to go up against a couple starters, Terrence Steele as well. So we can see what they look like at game speed against a couple of these premier guys. Like I don't know if like a Bradley Chubb or anybody plans to play this Saturday, but it would be nice to see like Terrence Steele go against a Bradley Chubb, because if Bradley Chubb beats up on him like Micah does, then maybe we're in trouble.
And not only that, I was going to say, not only that, man, I'm very excited about, the wide receiver position. We talked a lot about, who's going to step up. And this is the first test. We've seen Simi ball.
Nasty, bro.
Play after play, highlight catches, over
Physical.
the top, contested catches. It's looking good right away, man. I'm feeling more comfortable as the days go on that he can come in and be a security blanket for, for Dak. And not only that, Dennis Houston. We've been hearing his name a lot. I didn't know a lot about him.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it just seems like every day his name keep popping up and popping up. And he seems to got a good chemistry with Dak. So it won't be Dak out there throwing to it, but I would like to see if he come out there and keep the momentum going.
I do think, too, like, leading up to all this training camp stuff, like, we heard about Vasher, we heard about Houston, we heard about Simi. They were just naming all these names, snapping at training camp practice. But I almost wondered at first if it was the Dallas media trying to get us not to worry about losing to James Washington. But if it is the case where these guys are good, I wonder if James Washington will even see the field when he comes back. Like, what if Simi is nasty and James doesn't even see the field when he come back? Noah.
Oh, yeah, he might be.
Because, like, as it stands now, obviously Tolbert will probably be our number 3. CD's starting, obviously. Dennis Houston will probably work his way in there. Simi, like, we might have a nasty core at wide receiver. And with Dak slinging it 25, 30 times a game, I am excited to see what these guys can come up with.
Definitely the young guys, man. A lot of guys, man, you don't become a household name or a big name until you prove it. So they obviously feel comfortable in the guys they got. We don't know. We can only sit back and elaborate what that'll look like when it's time. But obviously they're comfortable with some of these players. Obviously, Dak, he feels a lot about Dennis Houston. We've seen the TJ Vasher highlights. Right. His has been crazy as well. He's been showing up. Noah Brown has looked solid, like we talked about, man. Noah has looked good. So I think, man, it's interesting, man. Like we talked about, same thing with the defensive line. I'm anxious to see some of these guys against some top-tier cornerback prospects or some defenses that actually – they probably won't show a lot, but just to see those battles and see how they play out, I want to see who shows up the most and then see who grabs the hold of this number 3 spot.
And another name, and I know we talked about it previously, I think Tony is due for a big year this year. Contract year coming up. He might be the number 3 option on offense. Next to CD and Tolbert. Schultz is there too, though. But – also, like a young Ferguson coming out. I know he's dealing with an elbow injury. It's elbow, right? He hyperextended his elbow. Hopefully he can get healthy in time for week 1 against Tampa Bay. I'm very intrigued to see what this coaching staff did this offseason and how it turns out.
I think it'll be good, man. I think we've been pushing the panic button a little bit as far as everything goes, but I think we'll be all right, man. We still got Dak, when it comes to this division, so I think we are dealing from an advantage position for sure.
And we're Super Bowl contenders till we're not, bro.
Yeah. Hey, for sure. Hey, we're going 17-0, you know what I mean? That's how we're going. Hopefully.
Definitely. We're 17-0 till we're not, bro.
The main thing that I'm different with as far as this year, we was going through a little roller coaster last year where it was like we had some highs. It was like Super Bowl here. We down, and where are we going to be at? I just want to get there, and I just finally want to see some postseason success, man. So, you know what I mean? long as we get there and make something happen, I think when it matters most, I think that's what we
as
all
long as we.
see. And you can hear it from the players. You can hear the
I do hope too, because I think we were a very soft team last year in general. Like we were getting pushed around. San Francisco beat the brakes off us in the playoffs. I do hope like bringing in a Tyler Smith, a couple big bodies. We get a healthy Gallimore, a healthy Tristan Hill. Like maybe hopefully this year McCarthy can make this team a little more physical. Like I hope he's just not a soft coach that runs a soft team.
Yeah.
So if we could be a little more physical, Zeke's healthy. If he could be a bruiser, I think if they can turn up the physicality, that we're a force to be reckoned with. Because Philly made nasty moves this offseason, bro. And as I told you earlier today, like I look at it like they took Jordan Davis in the first round. We took Tyler Smith. Over the course of like the next 6-7 years, hopefully Tyler Smith can win more battles than Jordan Davis can in the trenches. And that's just kind of the way I guess I grade it.
We're going to see it play out. I see him blowing the offensive lineman like 2 yards back early. I'm just like, man, it's a freaking man-child, man. And I wanted him. I wanted him bad, man. I was hoping he would fall to us, and just to see him end up in a division, it's like, But, like I said, we got a Tyler Smith, so we'll definitely get to see that battle out and see who gets the leg up. That'll be exciting.
Another one, too, is I know last year that Tyler Biadasz, our center, we talked previously about he just wasn't strong at the point of attack. He didn't have the strength there, so hopefully he put on some size this offseason, as my man Botch says, that offseason peanut butter.
Right.
But I do know we drafted Alec Lindstrom from Boston College, so I don't know how safe Biadasz is.
I think it's
undrafted. Okay. Well, either way, rookie Lindstrom is in there, and I'm not sure Tyler Biadasz' spot is secure at this moment. So if you can improve any position, you improve it, right?
Did bring in Brett Maher.
Oof.
You want to touch on that a little bit?
Ouch, bro. Yeah, I did see a report that they let what's his name Garibay go. No. That's
interesting. I didn't know that Garibay got cut. That's interesting. So
yeah, it looks like
they moved out pretty fast.
Lareem Hadralahu, the other kicker. So we're gonna let those two have a little battle.
Don't try.
We're gonna let Maher and Hallelujah have a little battle here for a little bit, and then Maher's gonna win the job because the other dude is terrible from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And that terrifies me because you see a kicker like Boswell and Tucker get their big deals. And I just wish we were in position to pay a kicker money like that. But at the same time, we were going to let Brian Anger walk, all-pro punter. The fact that he's even back with us is a miracle because we let him go fish around for deals. So that does worry me about the kicking game, special teams.
It's irritating. I'm on two different sides. I'm glad they adjusted. We do have familiarity with them. But I just wish they didn't wait this long. Like, you know what I mean? We've seen everything going on. I wish they just sat back and adjusted the position early and took it a little bit more serious. Now, saying as far as what we went through last year with Zerline, I'm glad they was able to get out in front of it, not even just let it go into the regular season. Because last season, all I heard was, he's getting healthy, is Zerline back? But if you know it was his back and you know he was going through all that, I don't understand why you didn't even try to find a crutch or even give him some competition last year just to see if you could find another guy. Now, this year, they just brought in an undrafted guy and signed another random guy and said, hey, hell, let's just see who wins it. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they bringing some more competition in there. Brett Maher, he wasn't the worst. The problem with him is, you know what I mean, he'll hit 50-yarders and he'll miss a 30-yarder. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Give or take.
And
he was pretty accurate, but he missed a whole lot of extra points and stuff like that, I remember. So, yeah.
I can see a handful of games coming down to the wire that are going to stress us out this season. So I don't like that. I don't think you can wait until, August to address the kicker position legitimately. I do think that is trouble. This is something that should have been addressed in March and April. I think that Dallas waited way too long to try to solve this problem, and I'm not happy with that. But hopefully it works out. Hopefully we won't be in too many positions where you'll be in positions. Kicking is so important. Kicking is so important.
We're going to be there.
Like that McPherson.
It's I don't care if it happens at the beginning or the end. At some point, it's going to come back and bite you. Just miss a couple and you be going for extra points. And you know how that goes. Once you're going for 2, you're chasing it. And
right.
You're just chasing it the rest of the game. So,
it's crazy that the Bengals took McPherson in the draft last year. And then literally their kicking game was just, they didn't have to worry about it. My man didn't miss a single kick in the playoffs. That's crazy. Why couldn't we go make a move like that? Really dig into the kicker position coming out this year. I mean, there's probably what do you get, 1 or 2 maybe a year?
Yeah, but I mean, if you feel comfortable with drafting one, you know what I mean? A lot of these guys, they end up being 7th round, 6th round picks anyway. We talk about gems, diamonds in the rough that you can find. You know, how often do those guys come around and instead of taking a shot on, let's say, a 4th or 5th running back or a 5th or 6th defensive tackle that probably won't make your depth chart and shit, why not just take a premium position pick? It's not even premium, just at the end, just take a shot on a guy you like, you know?
Right, absolutely.
So, I mean, we got Dan Bailey in like the 5th round one time, man. You know how that went. You know,
right.
I mean, he was great for us. So
absolutely.
Why not?
But I appreciate you all for tuning in. This is the Shilling and Stunner podcast. You got any final words?
Hey, look, y'all know the vibes, man. If you don't know, now you know. Hit that like, share, subscribe. And if you haven't done already, hit that notification bell and just stay tuned there. We'll be back. Peace.
Thank you.